So if you've ever played any Rockstar game, you already know that they're absolutely obsessed with recreating famous movie scenes and paying homage to certain moments or bits inside their games. This is a fairly common thing, especially with their more recent stuff. Almost every Rockstar game in the last 15 years has pulled from movies, shows, and even literature. Yes, this unfortunately means some poor intern at Rockstar once had to read an actual book, which is tragic, I know. Now, we all know, and honestly, it's pretty damn clear that Rockstar is cooking with borrowed ingredients again, but this is one aspect of the story writing that surprisingly works really well. I mean, the best example of this can be found in their latest title, RDR 2, in which they used multiple pieces of media and stitched them together into one of gaming's greatest ever achievements, at least story-wise. And look, borrowing from other pieces of media is something that has been a trend throughout the entire history of humanity. Every great artist in some way was inspired or, in certain cases, borrowed from other artists. This is a normal thing and should not be confused with stealing, unless it outright is. But see, Rockstar doesn't just copy things, they remix and repurpose certain shots from movies and turn them into beautifully crafted homages that feel larger than life. In this video, I'll be breaking down all the movies and shows that might have inspired GTA 6. So stick around, as by the end of this video you'll either be convinced that GTA 6 is Rockstar's unofficial take on a Florida cinematic universe, or you will be calling me insane while unsubscribing from my channel.
Don't do it!
Before getting into the topic of this video, please make sure to hit that like button and help a brother out. One like keeps poor small channels like mine afloat in hard times like these. Thank you. Now let's get straight into it, shall we? So let's start this breakdown with a movie that I swear nobody talked about for like the past 15 years, and then suddenly it started popping up in YouTube shorts like it just dropped last week, at least for me. The movie's name is Into the Blue and features Paul Walker in the role of Jared, who's living with his girlfriend Sam somewhere in the middle of the Bahamas. Now, long story short, without really spoiling anything or going too deep into the story of these characters, Jared, aka Paul Walker's character, is a diver who, while diving, discovers a shipwreck filled with valuable artifacts. Alongside the shipwreck, they also discover a crashed plane filled with large amounts of cocaine, which they try to sell to a local nightclub owner. This is the basic premise of the movie, and the entire plot revolves around them trying to retrieve the cocainum and the ancient gold in hopes of getting rich. Now, I remember watching this movie when I was a kid, and I absolutely loved it. The movie itself, I can tell you right away, is not exactly good, and story-wise, it's average at best, but it's still a fun and enjoyable experience if you can turn off your brain while watching it. Now, the thing about this movie, and a thing that really stood out to me when I saw trailer 2 and the info dump about GTA 6, was Jason and Cal loading up the cargo onto Brian's plane. This entire scene in the info dump, albeit like 2 seconds long, made me feel like we will be getting an homage to this movie in particular. My honest prediction, based on what we saw in the original leaks from 2022 and what's mentioned in the PDF leaks, is that we might actually be getting a fully fleshed out mission where Jason will have to retrieve by diving around either in the Keys or in the Bahamas. My guess is that Brian will lose one of his planes in a storm and we will have Jason and someone else go locate it. I bet that they will have some GPS trackers inside of the plane or the cargo itself, which will allow them to find its location in one mission and dive into shark-infested waters in the next one. I mean, the fact that in the leaks a spear gun is mentioned makes me believe that this will definitely be the case, as it's too good of an opportunity for them not to do it. Add to this a cheeky little treasure hunt underwater, and I think we will definitely be seeing some references to this particular movie. Moving on, we have a movie that has been mentioned a lot around the internet, sparking debate about whether Jason and Lucia actually had a baby and whether GTA 6 would be a game with a darker storyline. The movie I'm talking about is The Place Beyond the Pines, and it's a movie that features Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes as ex-lovers Luke and Romina, who have a baby named Jason. Coincidence? I think not. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, I have to say that it's one of the most beautifully shot and emotionally filled crime dramas in modern cinema. It's a movie with amazing cinematography and a great story about how one man's sins impact the ones around him. I will not be spoiling any story bits or go into any kind of detail on what exactly is happening in the movie, as you need to experience this movie on your own. But what I will say is that this movie definitely was used as inspiration for Jason and Lucia. I mean, it's pretty clear, especially from the looks of both characters. Now, how much this movie served as inspiration for the story of GTA 6 is not really known. At least we couldn't really figure it out from the trailers or promo materials we've seen till date. What is interesting though is that a while back a few leaks were circulating around on the internet talking about how Jason and Lucia have a kid that Rockstar is hiding from the trailers or general public. This, if true, does kind of have some parallels with the movie I just mentioned, but again, this leak as well as other leaks circulating around the internet at that time were never really confirmed, which necessarily doesn't mean this wasn't a thing that Rockstar thought about. I mean, they already did have a similar premise in Vice City Stories with Vic and his white lady, Louise. A few things about this movie, like the bank robberies and few stunts that Ryan Gosling's character does, will most certainly inspire a few missions within the game itself, but I personally do not see them taking any major story bits from this movie, and if you ask yourself why, I will just tell you that this movie is just too damn dark story-wise for them to do it. Now, one movie in particular that is definitely going to be referenced and is probably one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies of all time is American Made. This movie, albeit based on a true story about Barry Seal, is filled with insane stunts and crazy situations that will perfectly fit into the world of GTA 6. The movie follows Barry Seal, who is forced into becoming a cartel pilot while simultaneously working for the CIA, delivering weapons to the Contras in Central America. We already have seen how big of a role the smaller cargo planes will play within GTA 6, so this movie seems like the perfect opportunity for Rockstar to draw inspiration from, at least when it comes to mission design. I mean, just imagine Jason flying a cargo plane across the Atlantic Ocean while being chased by the US Air Force and having to dump the cargo somewhere in the Everglades, prompting him and Brian to return to collect the cargo in a mission later on. Now, judging by the screenshot of Jason and Brian inside of the car and by a few shots from the Grass Rivers region, I think this or something similar will be happening. Either the cargo will be scattered around the Grass Rivers with Jason and Brian recovering it using a truck and a helicopter while being chased by cops who are searching the area for the goods, or they will have the option to approach at sunset using a hovercraft trying a stealthier approach. Either way, I think we'll be in for some amazing missions that will take us to places we never previously visited within a GTA game. Now, before moving on to the final movie that will for sure have some major influence onto GTA 6, I want to mention a movie so bizarre and so weird that I honestly don't even know how Matthew McConaughey managed to do it while keeping a straight face. I'm talking about The Beach Bum, a movie so bizarre and so off topic that I genuinely think will for sure be referenced and used as inspiration for either Cal or some other character that Jason is close to. I mean, if we take a bit of a deeper look, we can already see that Cal is literally acting in the same manner as Matthew McConaughey's character Moondog in this movie. Now, the plot of this movie is quite honestly a bit absurd, and it's not exactly a movie that I would recommend you watch unless you're buzzed out of your mind after a night's out, but it's still a movie that I think will perfectly contrast the potential darker story that Rockstar seems to be going for. If I had to guess, I would anticipate at least a reference to this movie, as it is a movie set in the Florida Keys, especially as we have had the chance to see a Beach Bum Preacher reference within the leaked game files in 2022. Now, for the last movie, I really don't need to say much, as it's quite obvious which movie it's going to be, considering the Vice City setting.
Say hello to my little friend!
Scarface might have released 42 years ago, but it's a movie that still holds major relevance due to its timeless story and overall aesthetics that will forever make me go, wow. It's a movie that I personally love to watch anytime I get the chance. The character of Tony Montana and his rise from a dishwasher to criminal kingpin is still one of the best in television history. Now, if you ask me what I would expect in terms of influence to seep over into GTA 6, I would say mostly references with a potential mission that might be tied to the endgame itself. In terms of references though, I would say that we definitely will see the iconic Chainsaw Motel room reenacted again for modern audiences, especially with the rumored amount of enterable buildings that we saw in the leaks a while back. If not that, then I would expect this mansion to be available for the player to either purchase or visit as some kind of abandoned location. But when it comes to mission design, I honestly think we might be getting a final mission similar to the final shootout in Scarface. Something where Jason and Lucia have to fight their way out after angering a mob boss, the police, or potentially everyone. Either way, the possibilities for Rockstar here are kind of endless, and I can't wait to see what they will do. Now, before finishing off the video, I have to mention a few shows that I think will certainly be used as inspiration as well. One of the shows I want to mention is Narcos, and if we can judge by the Project America's leaks about the original idea for the story, then Narcos really fits in perfectly. As said multiple times before, the original GTA 6 Project America's leaks suggested that we would have 3 cities and 4 protagonists, which would somehow be interconnected in a Narcos-like storyline. Of course, this was scrapped, but I believe that the original Narcos inspiration is still there. I mean, especially with how Narcos-like Raul Batista himself looks.
Oh, that's hot.
Now, of course, it wouldn't be a Miami story if we didn't get at least a few missions or Easter eggs inspired by Miami Vice. If anything, I'm expecting there to at least be 2 characters dressed similarly to Tubbs and Crockett. Now, for the last show, which is more of a documentary, we have the Cocaine Cowboys. This show follows the rise of Will and Sal, former speedboat racing champions in the 80s, as they become the kings of Miami. The documentary as well as the show version are both filled with insane situations that are perfect for Rockstar to use as inspiration, and I honestly think that will be the case. If you haven't seen any of these, now is the time to do so in preparation for GTA 6. Believe me, once you watch these movies and these shows, you will be hyped even more than you already were. Anyways, thank you for taking time to watch this video, and a big thank you to the 1,272 people that ended up subscribing. You folks are the best. A big thank you also goes out to the returning and first official member of the channel, Victor Vallejo. Thank you. If you guys haven't already, please make sure to hit that like button and of course subscribe for a chance to win an RTX 7090 card once this channel reaches 10 million. Stay silly, keep edging, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.